Howdy, with this video, I want to go over how we're going to use sources in this career essay. I'm going to help you quite a bit with the research part of it. I don't want you to get too bogged down in MLA formatting and worrying about works cited entries and stuff. Uh, this class is more about your writing and improving writing, particularly at the sentence and paragraph level. But you should be aware of using how you use sources in your essay and be able to give it a good try, particularly with the last essay on your own, maybe a little bit more. I'm doing this video on Monday, March 18th. I apologize for not getting this up on Sunday like I said I would. I just ran into some family drama there. But the first two or three paragraphs of the career essay are due tomorrow night, Tuesday night. Hopefully by Friday, you're going to have your sources on a works cited page. I'm just going to ask you to send me the web address for those sources. Then I'll do the works cited entries for you. So you can kind of see how they, when you're going to do the, find the source, but then you're going to watch me put it into your essay a little bit. And hopefully that's one good way to learn without, getting too bogged down in all the little bitty details of MLA formatting. Hopefully we'll see a full draft next Tuesday and the final version from Friday the 29th. And after that, we'll be working on the last essay. To kind of get into this, I want to show you a couple of sample essays. They're located down here at Help Material. There's a sample career essay. I just posted that today. So if you're like, where'd that come from? I was like, well, I just put it up there. Then there's a sample medical essay. That's kind of what your last essay is going to be like. We'll look at the career essay first. See if we can make it work here. And this essay was written by a dual enrollment student. And their assignment was also a little longer than yours. So if you're reading it, go like, wow, this is a lot. It's like, yeah, maybe a little bit more than what you're looking to do. And with these dual enrollment students, generally they're a lot more, their academic plan is going to be a little more extensive than somebody seeking a certificate here at Northeast State, which is all fine either way, right? But you're going to see he's going to introduce the essay, kind of talk about why he wants to be a mechanical engineer, what his basic plan is. He wants to go to UT Knoxville because it's close to Oak Ridge and everything. Then he talks about his education. And what you're going to start seeing is going to start using sources in the essay. Here he's talking about what type of engineer he wants to be. Eventually he's going to start talking about the courses he needs. Then he's going to get into what engineers do. Then he's going to get to his academic plan and just basically following the outline given in the original assignment. You're going to see his academic plan is going to be fairly long. He's doing all 4 years at UT. And actually, Joseph here got accepted to Vanderbilt, so he's having a good time there instead of UT Knoxville. But you're going to see him using sources in the essay, and what you're going to see are in parentheses are what are called citations, and this is where he's telling you where this information is coming from. And as you're looking at a sample essay, it's always important. We're going to be looking for the first word on the works cited page. That's the bibliography page, the listing of sources. He doesn't really need the quote marks there around United, but anyway. Then you're going to see him using sources in different ways. Here we see a long quote. I'm going to talk a little bit more in a little more detail here in a second about all these. Here's a summary or paraphrase. But whenever he's using information, he's keeping track of where he's getting that information from. He's going to cite that source. Then at the end of his essay, makes me a little dizzy. You're going to see his works cited page. This is, if you're as old as I am, we used to call these just straight out bibliography pages. But in MLA formatting, that's called a works cited page. And what I'm going to ask you to do, particularly for Friday, is go ahead and give me the web address for the source you're using, and I will try to create a works cited page for you. We might have to give a little give and take. I might have to go like, where did this come from, or are you sure you use this page, or whatever. But you guys see the different sources he's used. He has to credit the source of that academic plan there. He's going to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, which is one of the requirements on the essay assignment sheet. You only have to have, I believe, 3 sources in this essay. So the one for wherever you get your academic plan information is going to be one source. The Bureau of Labor Statistics is going to be another source, and then you're going to have one more. Generally, students use that for the pros and cons of the job, although some of you have been in your job for a while, so you may already know that. So 2 of the 3 sources are kind of already given for you. But again, that works citus page, all it does is list the sources you're using in your essay. Then these citations within the essay. I can't find one now. There it is. There's one. It's just he's telling you I'm getting this information from this source. And there's 4 different ways to use sources, and I'm going to go over that here on another sample essay where I kind of have some of this kind of labeled for you. So I'm going to go back to help material. Going to look at the sample research essay in MLA format. This is going to be kind of based on the last essay you're going to do, a medical essay. But again, don't get too tensed up with MLA formatting. Basically, just all we're doing with the formatting is making sure you credit sources when you use them and use those sources fairly. Don't take other people's information and present it as your own. That's a good way to get in trouble when you're in college. We don't want that to happen. There it is. Alrighty. Again, this one's going to be a little bit longer than one you're going to do, but has all the elements we're looking for. And there's 4 ways to use sources in your essay. One's a short quote, which you're probably somewhat familiar with. There's one here. Short quotes, 3 or fewer lines typed out within your essay. You're going to introduce a short quote. You're going to put the quote word for word in quotation marks. Then you're going to have the citation. The citations here in the introduction with Michael Castle, Dolores Thompson, and Matthew Nathans. You start using the first word on your works citus page and a page number if you have one. Most internet sources aren't going to have page numbers like this one, but so if you go to the works citus page, there should be a Michael Castle there, and because your works citus page is going to be in alphabetical order. And again, I'm going to go over this a little bit after I do it for you, so you can kind of see kind of the process of the research, and then see the finished product when we're done with it. But there's Michael Castle. And basically, if you look through any sample essay, these citations are just going to be the first word on your works citus page. Here's another short quote. You can see the writer introduces the quote, then the direct quotes in quotation marks, 3 or fewer lines, then you get the citation there. And that's how short quotes work. Pretty easy, you're just quoting word for word from the source. Long quotes are a little bit different. Long quotes are 4 or more lines. But again, they're directly from the source, word for word. You can use brackets to show a change to a quote or ellipses to show an omission, but generally they should be word for word from the source. But same idea. Going to give an introduction to the quote. Long quotes are tabbed over twice. They're also often called block quotes because they're blocked over. But again, you're going to have to cite that source. Carol should be on the works citus page. I'll guarantee it is. There's another long quote from Carol. You can tell they're long quotes because they're tabbed over twice, once beyond the paragraph level. There's the ellipses showing the omission from the quote, brackets showing a change or addition to the quote, but otherwise it should be word for word. And again, long quotes are the only things that are blocked over like that. Short quotes are the only ones that get quotation marks. And again, the difference is short quotes are 3 or fewer lines, long quotes are 4 or more lines. The third way you can use those sources in your essays with a summary. And if you go back to the assignment sheet, you're going to see you have to do a long quote, a short quote, a summary, and paraphrase, and that's what I'm referring to. Summary, you just condense the material in your own words and sentence structure, but you still got to give the credit source because you're getting that information from somewhere. So this sentence here, the disease takes 8 to 10 years to progress. Most people will succumb and eventually die from the disease. Talking about Alzheimer's. That could have taken the original author, like 2 pages to get out. And hopefully Morgan here decided, hey, I can do that in 1 sentence and save the reader a lot of effort. You want to kind of avoid too many long quotes because it just makes it awfully hard on the reader to have to kind of decipher why all these long quotes are there. But you still want some information in there, and you'd do a summary just like that. No quote marks, no indentations. It's part of your essay. But you can tell something's going on because of that citation. And also, generally, if you're giving me number figures, there's a good chance you're getting that information from somewhere, right? It's like when you go to the Bureau of Labor Statistics and start talking about the average income, you might end up taking one of the charts from the Bureau of Labor Statistics and just summarizing it in your own words and sentence structure. You can't change numbers around, obviously, but you can make the wording your own. And there's another summary. That's not letting me do any. Not let me highlight. There's another summary right there towards the end of that paragraph that's highlighted. Dementia patients were often thought to be senile or crazy. They were confined to their houses and nursing homes and even mental hospitals. Looks like a summary because it's kind of short. Looks like the author's summarizing or condensing information from the source, making it easier for us to understand what's going on, instead of giving us some big long quote or something. The last one, and this is a hard one, is called a paraphrase. That's where you restate what the original source says with using your own words and sentence structure without leaving out any of the main points. A good example of if you're writing about brain surgery, a long quote may just get a little too tedious, a little too technical, particularly if you've got a source that's a medical doctor trying to talk to other medical doctors. I might write on your essay like, I have no idea what's being said here. Short quote won't cut it because it's not, you can't do brain surgery in 3 or fewer lines. Excuse me. Summary may not work well because if you condense brain surgery, you're going to be leaving scalpels and sponges in people's brains there, right? So you don't want to leave anything out, but you want to put it in your own words and sentence structure, and that's where a paraphrase comes in. Again, it's your own words and sentence structure. You still got to credit the source. I wonder why it won't let me highlight it. Anyway, so this first part of this paragraph is probably a paraphrase. Paraphrases and summaries look the same within an essay pretty much, but generally paraphrases are longer. And here she's talking about how the disease was discovered. Quite a few facts. She didn't leave out any of the main points from the original passage, but she put it in her own words and sentence structure, and works well there. So you kind of have a paraphrase for the first part of the paragraph, summary to finish it out. Then she's going on and working with some long quotes. And you kind of see it's kind of nice to vary it up a little bit. It makes it easier to read, and you're not forcing the reader to, just read all, tons and tons of long quotes. But again, with all these sources, from Coping to Cutler and Stramick to David Carroll, they should all be on the Works Citus page. If we come down here, you'll see it right there. There's David Carroll. See, now let me. There's Alzheimer's disease. There's Coping. There's Cutler and Stramick. All these sources you see being cited in the essay are listed down here on the Works Citus page. So again, for tomorrow night, just want to make sure you're making progress on the essay. For Friday, I'm going to ask you to send me the web addresses for the sources you're using. I'll turn those into a works cited entry, and then you'll have to go back and make sure you cite those in your essay. But kind of start working with putting material into your essay. A lot of it depends on how you're using material, whether you're doing a summary, paraphrase, a long quote, or a short quote. But hopefully, we're going to work all those in. But again, keep in mind, most of the grade for this essay is sentence structure, paragraph development. The MLA component is just kind of a bonus. I don't know if it's a bonus. That's not a good way to phrase it. But it's just something you have to know as you work at college level writing. But hopefully that makes sense. Again, if you prefer to read about it, if you go to the content page and down to help material, you'll see this MLA lecture, and that can help you as well. It's going over what I'm already saying, just in a little more detail. So you kind of read it show and pace if you prefer to do that. Some people like to see sample essays. Some people want to read the lectures. Some people want to hear me talk. Whatever works for you. But be sure to let me know if you have any questions. Again, hopefully by Friday you have the web addresses on your Works Cited page, and I'll go in there and do the Works Cited entries for you so you can see how they work. But we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.